and talk some college hoops. Rapheal Davis covers college hoops for the Big Ten Network. And I'm excited, man. There's a lot of good college basketball. Unfortunately, not much of it is happening here in the DMV. Rapheal joins us now on the Rude Guest Hotline. What's up, man? Thanks for making time for us.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
We're good, dude. I know you're at the Big Ten Network. Well, let's talk about how loaded that league is, especially with Michigan coming to D.C. this weekend to play Duke.
Yeah, no, I think the Big Ten this year, I think it's 100% the best conference in the country. I think you look at Michigan, you look at Illinois, Michigan State, Purdue, Nebraska. I think any one of those teams could get to a Final Four. I think any one of those teams could win it all.
How good is Michigan? Because they have rolled teams, and I feel like this might be their best team in a long time.
No, I think Michigan is one of the best teams that we've seen in college basketball in a long, long time. I think you look at them defensively and how they're constructed, it could be the best defense that you ever seen in college basketball with their ability to switch, their ability to switch defenses, their ability to go zone. They can press you. They can pressure you. I mean, they get into you. They beat you with defense, and it's been a long time since you've seen teams just be able to cut guys' waters off. And Michigan, they're deep. They got 9 starters on that team. You think about that game they just had at Purdue and how they closed it out, and Purdue was making a push. They closed it out with their backup guards, with Trey McKinney and L.J. Kaysen. And that just doesn't happen much when you go on the road and you play a top 10 team. Teams don't have the ability to close out games with their backups. And I just think that just shows how deep Michigan is.
Got to ask about UCLA. Mick Cronin making waves after some of his comments after the game. UCLA is on the bubble and trying to get into the tournament, but what do you make of the Cronin situation and if they can get on maybe a little bit of a run to finish the season and get into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think UCLA is talented. I think they're right there with the more talented teams in the conference. I think they should be a tournament team when you look at their roster and you look at the guys they have. Like Donovan Dent, at his best, he's one of the best guards in the Big Ten, maybe even in the country. And then Tyler Bilodeau is having an outstanding season. So when those two guys are going, you see them take down Purdue. You've seen them win big games. But I'm a guy that I always believe in that players tend to follow their coach. They kind of follow the demeanor of their coach. And things have kind of been up and down with UCLA on the floor, off the floor. And it's made sense when you hear certain things in press conferences and things like that. But I'm a guy that if those players, if they could pull it together, they could play their best ball, they could make some noise. But they're up against it right now. I mean, I'm not saying they must win this Illinois game, but you lose this Illinois game coming up, you have to get at least one or both of those USC games to finish the season to make sure you get into the tournament. And I think they have the talent to do it.
Hey, speaking of Illinois, I've watched them a few times. That guard they have, he looks like he's 14 years old, but he could fill it up. How good are the Illini?
I mean, yeah, Illinois, they can win a national championship as well. I think this is their best team that they've had since that 04-05 Darren Williams, Coach Weber team. I mean, just because they have such a size that it's just hard to score at the rim over. I mean, they are gigantic all around. I mean, even talking about Keith Wagler, playing point guard at 6'7". So, I mean, the way they defend with that length and with the way they can guard you and the way they rebound the ball, and then they don't beat themselves offensively. They don't turn it over. They get to the free throw line. They take good shots. They have a stud in Keith Wagler. When they need a basket, he can go get them one. And now Kylan Boswell is back, which gives them a little bit of a transition game on the offensive end. It improves their defense. I look at Illinois, I look at them as one of the better teams in the country because they got some studs. You got Kylan Boswell, one of the better defenders in the country. You got Keith Wagler. I take him as the best point guard in the country. And then you got a gang of 7-footers that not only can finish down low, but that can knock down threes. I mean, you got bigs that can shoot and guards that can get to the rack. You're going to have a chance to make some noise in March.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking with Rapheal Davis here on the Rude Guest Hotline. You can give him a follow at Rapheal Davis 3. Check out his work at Big Ten Network. Let's talk about your boys, Purdue. I mean, Matt Painter's always gonna go deep in March. Mm-hmm. What do you think about the Boilers?
Yeah, I think they still have a chance to get to their goals, win a national championship. I mean, winning the Big Ten is probably out of their sights right now, but being in that locker room, knowing coach, knowing the guys, they wanted to win a national championship this season. But I think for them, it's going to have to start on the defensive end. You look at Purdue in that Michigan game, you're at home, 82, 85 points. That's enough. Like, Purdue scored enough to win the game. You just can't give up 90 plus on your home floor. So I just think Purdue has to find a way to defend at a higher level. And if they can find a way to keep the ball out of the paint and not give up so many open threes and stay out of rotations on the defensive end, I think they're going to have a shot. But you look at Purdue, and obviously they have the March experience, three of those guys that played in the national championship game. Not a lot of teams can say that. I mean, Braden Smith is one of the best guards in the country. Trey Kaufman-Wren is one of the better low post scorers in the country. So when they click, when they're at their best, they're one of the best teams in the country. And I tend to try to judge teams who you are at your best. And I think Purdue, all you need is 4 games in March to get there, and I think they have a really good chance to get to a Final Four.
You mentioned USC a little bit earlier. There's a kid for the Trojans that has some local interest, Elijah Arenas, Gil's son. He didn't do as well last night, only 8 points against the Illini, but before that he had 29 against Indiana, 24 against Penn State, and then 25 against Ohio State in 3 straight games. What have you seen from him, and are you expecting that maybe this is a one-and-done situation, or you expect to see him back in college next year?
Yeah, I think he's out of there. I think he's shown enough that he needed to get himself drafted, especially get himself drafted in the lottery. Because, I mean, a lot of this stuff, sometimes they base it off of high school, just to be honest, and just from my experience. And he proved enough in high school to reclass and go to college early. So he must have heard the right things, you know what I mean? So I think he's proven exactly what he needs to prove. And he's a wiry 6'7". He can score the basketball. He can handle the basketball. He has a really high basketball IQ. I think everything else is just going to come for him. So I think he's a really, really good player. He can score the basketball. I think it's been interesting seeing Coach Musselman integrate him in the offense because he shoots the basketball now. Like, he get his shots up. He averaged 25, 26 points in those 3 games, but he took 20 shots to get them. Right. And you look at some of those guys, they may have threw their rhythm off, and they may have lost a couple games because of it. So I think it's one of those give-take situations with him, but I think he's one of the best freshmen in the country, no question about it. I think he's going to be a lottery pick.
Yeah, he's certainly been fun to watch, and I DC guy, I love Gil, so it's crazy to think that his son is doing it at this level, what seems like so soon after Gil was doing it. As far as Big Ten hoops goes, I'll start by saying I'm a Maryland alum. How surprised or disappointed are you with the season the Terps are having?
I'm not surprised or disappointed. I mean, I understood it was going to be a rebuilding year from the start. You get a brand new coach. The roster was gutted last season, and coach has those dudes fighting. And then you lose Pharrell Payne. I'm a big Pharrell Payne from the time when he was at Minnesota. You just could see the talent there. And you lose Pharrell Payne to start the season, and things kind of derail from there. I mean, Miles Rice, he was hurt this offseason. He didn't have the preseason or offseason that he wanted to have, so he comes in the season a little hobbling. So I just think coaches got them fighting. And even last night, you lose that game on the road, but they're fighting. And when I've been a team, man, that's been at the bottom of this league. I finished last place in the Big Ten my sophomore year for Coach Painter, and we lost 10 of our last 12 games. And we had dudes quit. Like, not literally, they didn't leave the locker room, but they'd be on the floor and they didn't care. Like, we had dudes planning spring break trips. And at least Maryland's still fighting. They still showing up, and they're still answering the call. And to me, that speaks to Coach. Coach still has their attention. Coach still has them getting better. Andre Mills is a dude to build around. And then I'm a big fan of Darius Adams. He played in my high school, Lalamere. So you got some really talented young guys in that locker room. And then Solo Washington, I think he's been a big-time leader for them. They just got to keep chugging and keep fighting a good fight. But I commend those dudes for not quitting, because it's hard to get beat every game and not quitting, to keep trying.
Yeah, man, it's funny. So I primarily cover the Commanders, right? The artist formerly known as the Redskins. Mm-hmm. And they had a terrible season, but one thing I was impressed by Dan Quinn was that locker room stuck together even in week 16, 17, 18 of a terrible season. And I do feel like you see the same thing from Buzz. They're supposed to have a great recruiting class coming in, and I think Buzz was kind of hamstrung that the hiring process was later in the portal and everything. Do you think Maryland can turn that thing around pretty quick next year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the talent bed in that area it's crazy. My mother's from D.C., so my entire family's from out that way. So I grew up playing ball out there, so I know how talented it is. And you hear nothing. You hear when you talk to players, whether they be former players, current players, players from 10 years ago, when they talk about Buzz Williams, they love him. And I mean, people may not understand him, they may not get him, but when you talk to guys, they'll run through a wall for him. And when you talk to a dude like a Diggy Coit and you ask him what Buzz Williams means to him, it's big time. So I think he's going to be able to get the players in there. I think he's a guy that players want to play hard for. Because that's the thing. Like, you got to have your players want to run through a wall for you. And I think Buzz Williams is that type of coach for Maryland. So I think he's going to get this thing turned around in no time. And I think when Maryland is going, like when I played when Maryland first entered the Big Ten, so it would have been Melo Trimble's freshman season.
Oh, wow.
So when I was playing, like, that thing was rocking. Like, the Xfinity Center was going. When it gets to that under-16 timeout in that second half and they bring down that big old flag, whatever, like, it gets going. So it's a really cool place. It's a really cool environment, and I think Coach Williams is going to get it back to going.
Love hearing that. Hey, Rapheal, thanks so much for the time. Maybe we can check back up once the brackets get announced.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Just let me know, and I got you.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thanks very much.